Do you want to buy some death sticks?
We've now begun.
You want to buy some death sticks?
And all right, so here's that start of the Doomsday here. Any comments on the excitement of Doomsday?
I like this list a lot, actually. This is all, I think, the standard stuff, right?
Yeah, this looks pretty standard.
You're going to have these cards in Doomsday pretty much every time, no matter what. Maybe not the Imperial Seal. I see some people not use that, but everything else in here is uncontroversial in stock.
Yeah, and look at those sweet Doomsdays in the middle. Beautiful art.
Those horrible Doomsdays.
The only art that's worse than that is the one that you picked to show on the side.
I didn't pick that. Scryfall picked it.
I don't know, that Dark Ritual art's pretty unappealing too, but that's, just me.
Well, thanks, boys. All right.
Let's move on from this disgusting art.
This absolute abomination.
What do we got now?
We got some lands.
Oh, it's the mana base?
Yeah, it's just the mana base. I think this is pretty normal. Is Otawara usually in this list?
It's a back and forth. I like a copy.
Okay.
So I think this is actually a pretty controversial list because we've got each of the basics and Otawara.
Yeah.
I almost never see more than one of those things at a time. I agree with both basics, but the Otawara, we never really got a chance to see if that's good or not.
Yeah.
That's usually the slot that I'd want the, the
Watery Grave?
Shockland, one of Watery Grave.
Not the 8th fetch?
No, I'd want the 5th land that does the job.
Interesting.
I'd go with a fetch here, personally, but I haven't tried Otawara either. And, dear viewer, you won't get to see us do it. It didn't come up.
Oh, man.
Okay, I like this mix a lot. We got the 3 Thoughtseize, 1 Duress, and then 1, I forgot the name of it. Flusterstorm. Yep. We got to have at least 1 Flusterstorm. Sometimes that's just exactly what you need. I like the 1 Peak. I like the 1 Sleight of Hand for like weird Doomsday things. It just looks good.
Yeah, it's got a lot of effects that let you see what your opponent's doing, and 4 that let you rip, Force of Wills out of their hand to make sure you can go off. I know that people love Flusterstorm, but this deck does sometimes proactively want to do things on its turn before it comes back, and you don't necessarily have the extra blue mana to hold up Flusterstorms all day.
I suspect that there might not be an objectively correct choice here, but Thoughtseize is definitely the easier decision tree.
And always keep in mind just play style. That some people are okay waiting and predicting their opponent's things after a few turns. Some people just want to go, okay, I've drawn the win in my hand. Let's see, can I win now? Oh, I can, okay.
Okay, I can consider it potentially training wheels, except for the fact that Thoughtseize is live against 3 archetypes that Flusterstorm is completely dead against. The aggro workshops matchup, Flusterstorm hits nothing, Dredge, nothing, Bizarre aggro, nothing. Sometimes
training wheels is just the correct thing, though. Like it's not training wheels until somebody proves that a different approach is better. Flusterstorm's definitely more difficult, but that doesn't mean it's better.
True. It's just something that deviates pretty heavily from what other people are doing, and I like it. But other people may disagree. C'est la vie. Sometimes it's 3-1 on Thoughtseize to Fluster, and sometimes you just play 4 Fluster. Kind of depends on the meta, too.
As you said, c'est la vie.
Moving right along.
All right, we got...
I would say if you don't Thoughtseize, don't Swamp either.
Yeah.
That does sound accurate.
Yeah.
Sideboard, I think we're pretty controversial in this one with our Force of Despairs, right?
Oh, yeah.
That is not something people usually see.
Especially not with the Van Gogh art.
But yeah, the card itself, I think it was...
Oh, great.
Yeah, just because Doomsday was struggling so much with Squeevine and Dredge, and they're even technically viable against other decks like Shops if you wanted to.
I've definitely boarded against Shops with them. I don't know if it was correct, but against Squeevine, it's absolutely correct, and it feels great.
And what Oppo's kind of mirror and some other stuff, and the Blessings, the safety net card.
Yeah, just in case they're on the mill 'em out with Archive Trap plan, you just include that post board. You don't care. They Archive Trap, just make sure it's in your Doomsday pile. Now Archive Trap doesn't matter.
Now, if you're not sure if they're bringing an Archive Trap on game 2, are you still bringing in Gaia's Blessing, or how are you making that decision?
No one's ever explained the logic of it to me, but I would, if I won game 1, I would leave it out on game 2 and make sure that they have to show it, and then I bring it in game 3 if it's relevant.
That's probably the approach I would take too. Although it makes me wonder whether it's worth the slot for that.
Depends on meta.
I'm also seeing, fewer and fewer archive traps and lists anymore because the cat's kind of out of the bag on this trick.
Yeah, which might mean that it's time to rotate it back out,
It's a bummer when your card that you sideboard in to beat Doomsday and only Doomsday doesn't work.
Right. That is the problem with it. It's not really viable against any other archetypes, whereas there are other hate cards against Doomsday that work against multiple archetypes.
Right. I'd rather bring in Mindbreak Trap because they can play around it, but they have to play around it.
Right.
Unless they've got Thoughtseize, then they don't have to fucking worry so much.
I know, it's just so much better. I like training wheels. I take my tequila with a chaser.
My guess is that Gaia's Blessing will become another Flusterstorm. That would be my best guess.
Seems legit.
Viable.
That's also a good answer to Archive Trap anyway.
True.
I think that's the Imperial Seal also supports the one of Hurkyl's Recall a lot better on sideboard because you've got another way to just get it.
Yeah. And there are times where you absolutely want the one recall. I don't know. My favorite thing about this entire sideboard is the Shieldrids. They continue to be this really fun source of beating Squeevine on their own, among other archetypes that just don't have answers for it. And everybody knows it's coming. It's not a secret anymore. You're not 100% sure if it's going to be in the mix game too.
Just live the dream. Turn one, Shieldred.
It's got that is it creativity thing that we saw Reed Duke do at the last Pro Tour that he won, where he was flipping between the combo and Hullbreaker Horrors, and you never knew which fucking part was going to be in the deck, and that's what he was using to wreck them the whole time. Same kind of vibe with Shieldred and Doomsday. You never really know if it's Thassa's Oracle or Shieldred that's taking it down, but one of them's there.
Right. So you want to put Hullbreaker in here? What?
Jesus Christ.
I love Shieldred with Dark Ritual. It's an awesome sideboard card.
Yeah. There is that too. The one format we get to really enjoy it.
Another reason I'd like to point out that Force of Despair is awesome because you can Dark Ritual it.
Oh, fuck, you can.
It's like the same thing as
exiling.
Right.
Yeah, but it's just funny. I like the idea of casting things.
I mean, sometimes you cast Force of Despair on your turn.
Right.
Sometimes they've got Lavinia, I don't know.
Lavinia would stop it.
Oh, yeah, it still would, wouldn't it? Okay.
You just Dark Ritual into sadness.
You just Dark Ritual into sadness. All right. Still liking it. I just want a Dark Ritual and cast Force of Despair.
Carry on.
Carry on.
This is the reason for the season, right?
Yeah, this is the deck that we were trying to run in the Gauntlet. That this is the last run through on it.
Good thing the Doomsday's still up on screen.
Yep. It's okay. I put the Flusterstorms a little bit apart there. I don't know. I just didn't stack it right.
Having a good night over here.
Yep.
All right.
Just
That sticks.
Well prepared. Here's the exciting creatures in there. I do not agree with Sphinx the Steel Wind being in anymore. I just don't.
You drew it.
I don't feel good about the card. I think
many spoilers about what's going to happen here.
Just as a spoiler, I think every time we've tested this deck, I've drawn the card. I'm pretty. If I look back over, I think that happened.
I fucking love it.
I also accidentally put swords in this instead of in the other pile.
Yep.
Well, that's just an organizational quirk.
Here we go. This is everyone's. This is the best part of looking at anything. If you just
the
laid this
butthole.
out, this is so many decks in the field. Like so many decks.
Yeah, this is at least a third of the field.
The vintage rim job.
It really is.
We've got your power 8 right here. Power 9.
Power 9 plus a combo plus that other thing you get with her is a saga, because why the fuck not?
Lands, ever exciting. See, look, this has my nice hallowed fountain for my 5th Tundra.
So happy I never have to see that again after this. And the sideboard. Tweet, tweet.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. I
Sure
sided
didn't
these in.
work.
Yeah, it sure would have been. It wouldn't have mattered if I'd drawn it. I'd just get Thoughtseize. So
Yeah, Flusterstorm don't counter Archon of Emeria now, does it?
it does not.
There's a lot of things that it doesn't do.
All the shuffles.
All right.
Round one.
Oh wait, no, this is a mulligan. I remember this is
Not done shuffling.
just for everyone's that was the pregame message
Wow.
I was
Well played,
given.
boys.
Yep.
Yep.
You're welcome, everyone.
You're welcome, America.
All
This
right.
is what we do over
Here
the
we
Sith
are.
channel.
Here we are. This is why that message came up there. Oof. So how confident were you that you win this? Like 100% confident that you're about to win?
I felt pretty good.
I was thinking I might have a little bit of a fight in there, but I did not assume that it was just going to be.
Played that land so delicately. And then you fetched it into oblivion.
Yeah, I fetched it right out. It's about eloquence or
Only
something.
you'd shuffled a little better. There might have been a game.
I don't even know. It was usually, turn 2 Seasoned Dungeoneer and stuff's fine. Plans like that, but this turn 1 Lavinia, I know that the Doomsday deck has 4 answers possible in its deck.
There's one.
And it had one of them. So it's just unfortunate.
It felt so good just having the counter for the turn 1 Lavinia.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of glad that it got out of there because Lavinia kind of only stops that because Doomsday usually plays past turn 3.
Yeah. Once you hit turn 3, it's fine.
But at the same time, I did expect to draw cards that did something at some point. Yeah.
And you countered the Lavinia because you were about to go a little bit nuts, if I remember correctly.
I countered Lavinia because I knew that it would prevent the Force of Will from working.
Ah, right.
And I was pitching a Time Walk, which wasn't that important here.
Gotcha.
And I was just thinking, I don't know, maybe I'll draw another Force of Will. Lavinia causes problems.
And there's Thoughtseize to completely wreck my day.
Yeah, at this point I knew it was oh wow, I'll just take the blue card, have some fucking lands.
Yep. Yeah, my 8th card was
Dead Swords.
My 8th card was the Sphinx. That's why I drew for my turn. And just kind of, all right, well, new plan. I'm just going to cast the Sphinx. How's that sound? Let's just
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast a thing. This card that I drew right there that you didn't see yet, by the way, is a land.
This is one of the things I love about Doomsday, though, is despite how much creature removal now needs to get packed into decks, Doomsday just does the same fucking thing over and over again, completely, I don't know, making it irrelevant.
It is nice that the creature removal doesn't stop Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. Fantastic.
All right, so here's for everyone watching at home and happy. There's these cool combo things of this deck. And there's the Brainstorm that you put tapped.
Yeah, I put it there, to resolve it. And yeah.
But I just kept thinking it's a land.
Yeah, I looked back too, and it was next to the land. And later, wait, do I need to make a land drop?
Hold on.
Did you pause it?
No. You're
No, I didn't. I did not. This was I believe this is considering the Brainstorm still.
Oh yes.
You can tell it's going. You can see me dancing in the screen while you were.
You danced the night away. You did.
Yep. Yeah, that's where we figured out. That's why I'm dancing. I figured, wait, that's not a land, man. Now, do you remember exactly what the Brainstorm showed you?
It showed me action.
Okay.
And got rid of extra lands. That's mostly what I was doing with it.
All right.
I was doing the old trick where you put your extra lands back and then fetch to get rid of them.
Yep. That's our quick discussion of, yes, that indeed no land had been played.
Yeah, and I was trying to figure out how many of the lands in my hand to keep.
Yep. But in the end, it doesn't really matter because we're going to be just ending this in short order. So abusive. Now, I think that... no, it's over next turn, isn't it? Yeah. You just get to combo off and win.
So many spoilers.
Yeah, I have to put this out. Everyone will get to see the most exciting way to win with Doomsday in just a second, but you gotta wait for it. It's the sweet spot.
This is my second favorite way to win with Doomsday.
And you gotta have me play another land because, by the way, that other card I drew there, it was another land.
Wait, is this the one? Oh wait, I guess we'll find out in a moment.
We'll see. You can see that Thassa's Oracle and the Demonic Consultation in your hand.
Yep. Feels good.
Yeah, just you had your hand angled just enough, those are there. All right, bye-bye.
This is another reason I really like the Thoughtseize is that you can just set this up and go for it.
Yes, you can. You drew a random piece and just use any of your tutoring things and whoop. Yep, you just go. You're like, Thassa's, and I'm like, uh-huh.
I think I named Forest.
Yeah, you did name Forest.
Looking for that green, baby.
There it is. I'm like, oh, fine, I'm going to path your stupid thing.
In one brief moment of confusion.
Right. I'm like, but wait, it still wins? Yeah. Okay, right. Okay.
It's the ever important tournament move to always use removal on a person's Thassa to see if they scoop.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, in a tournament setting.
It's my advice for everyone.
You never know.
You never know. Your opponent might just be like, you know what? You had removal. You should have won.
So to be absolutely clear, what we do there is we put the Thassa ability on the stack, and then we do Demonic Consultation, name something that's not in the deck.
Yep.
And even if they get rid of the Thassa, you just decked yourself with Consultation right before the trigger resolves.
And so the Thassa's effect trigger says, oh, no library, you win.
0 equal to 0 equals win.
Zeros on zeros on zeros.
That's how we divide by 0, baby.
My first thoughts for sideboarding here were paths are probably not useful. Lavinias, I know they only stop really the Force of Wills with how it gets going.
See, this is why I like the Shieldred even when they know about it, because you're still taking your removal out.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got a couple other pieces, but
Like, they still
They're the
have
versatile
to take their
pieces.
removal out to make room for the shit most of the time.
Yep.
yeah, dedicated removal would be the first thing gets hit. The versatile removal would get to stay then.
That's the thing. A lot of the versatile removal can't hit a 4/5.
Which, yeah, that is rather interesting.
Because the versatile removal is shit like a Braid or whatever.
Or in this deck's instance, it's an Echoing Truth.
Yeah.
All right. So my goal here was to put in the 4 Archons because they're just really good against Doomsday.
Oh, yeah.
And
Very good.
I couldn't figure out what were the best things to cut here. I think it's Pithing Needle was high on my contemplation. I'm like, well, what are they really actually searching? I'm just trying to turn off random cards or
Yeah,
my
it's
Pithing Needle.
pretty mid
yeah.
here. Pretty mid here.
I think the best thing that you can name is the fetch land. Polluted
Yep.
Delta.
Yeah, and even then, I think that just getting rid is the better way to do it. Time Walk's another card I wasn't sure of whether it's necessary.
Can you needle a Necro?
No, I believe I'd have to look at
How it's errated.
yeah, if what Necro actually says on the card.
That's worth knowing. I wonder if you can Pithing Needle and Necro.
Yeah, I'll look that up after this just to check. If Necro has an activation cost, then yes, you would be able to Pithing Needle it because it's definitely not a mana ability.
Well,
I
if you
think
want to know
so.
the answer, comment below, damn it.
Oh no, I'm actually going to say the answer right now. The answer is that you can needle it, and if I'm wrong, comment below
I'm gonna second this notion.
and put in like a paragraph on, like, just explain it completely. I promise I'll read it.
So everyone could see I went with the basic sideboarding choice of one of each card goes out to put my 4 in because I couldn't make a decision on it.
I think this is just
This is
bad
just,
cards out, good cards in. Like the Street Wraith isn't a bad card, but we don't need 4 in this matchup.
yeah, it's Street Wraiths. It's easy to side out 1 or 2 of those in a lot of situations. I don't know if I agree with getting rid of the duress though.
I just want the discard to always hit. That's what I was thinking, because I'd feel like an idiot duressing and then, oh, well, there's a creature that's about to give you initiative.
Okay, I can see that logic.
I wanted all action.
Okay, so you liked the peak over the duress.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep, because the peak, I mean, you've got blue in there. I don't know what you're going to bring in. You know, that deck could have access to shit like Flush, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, still looking at the hand is good.
Okay. Then I will say, and other than that, Fatal Push comes in because I have initiative creatures. Yippee. All right. Let's. There's. Here we go.
Initiative on the play.
Initiative is on the play. I was excited by this hand. You'll see it in just a moment why I'm excited by it, and you'll also get to see why I'm less excited. But that's how Magic goes, right?
Degrees of excitement, absolutely.
Yeah, when someone's
And
like,
then
they have that look on their
deflation.
face like they're about to win the game, and someone top decks a card and doesn't really know what it does and realizes they now win the game, and the other person's crestfallen.
I mean, that's kind of how the tournaments work, though, is that everybody gets up kind of hopeful, and then except for one person, everyone loses the tournament.
They do produce a lot more losers than winners, yes.
It's always good when I went to a tournament hungover, had no plans whatsoever to win. I just got in a car and did.
Yep.
And it was like, yep.
And once again, this is why you try and kill the Oracle, because they might also be hungover.
Oh, another important point, that was an Ancestral on my opponent's upkeep, because then no Force of Negation can be used.
Because you also really wanted to draw what? 3 lands?
Yeah, see, this is the sad part. They'll know in a second, because I'm going to get Thought Seized again here, because the Thought Seize is amazing.
Thought Seize is quite good.
And you get to see me go, yeah, I don't even get to bluff. There's not even
6 lands, 2 initiative.
And suddenly I knew I had it.
Yeah, it was just my next card in this for me to have a chance is Lotus.
There was no chance. This is the Lotus Necro.
I didn't know that there was no chance yet, but then this happens.
So you have one card and I have all of them.
Yep. And not only do you have all of them, you keep having all of them as long as you please.
And you've got a 4-drop and no acceleration, so I can just pay a lot of life. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Wow. That feels gross.
Yeah.
It's not over yet, though.
So this is officially my favorite Doomsday win, is off of the turn 1 Necro.
And as we can see on the Necropotence art there, it does say pay 1 life, and there's the colon, so it can be needled.
You can needle that colon.
You can needle that colon.
Yeah, baby.
If it has a colon, it can be penetrated.
I'm going to go with that. On this situation, I went with the Flooded Strand just to thin my deck more rather than the Urzas, because I'm living on this thinnest of hopes to not lose here.
Living on a prayer.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even have that hope. Not with the turn 1 Necro out.
It's proper that Necro can be needled, because Necropotence sounds like some shit that Vraska did to Jace.
You really love that.
Yeah. It's like Georgia on your mind.
I think it goes with that hashtag call her daddy.
Have you found some kind of custom erotica for this already?
Jason Vraska? No, I looked.
I bet with a little AI work.
We're getting closer to those days, man. We are getting really close to those days.
People thought it would be like fuck bots. It's just going to be like AI that talks dirty to you while you choke yourself.
Oh, there's another Thought Seize to there we go.
Thought seize, just a little too late to seize that thought.
Oh, yep, man. That's
fuck. Yeah.
I got nothing. This is the only risk here to the my hope was like, okay, I'll draw something to disrupt this, because they might be able to die to Doomsday triggering things, because it's half rounded down. I was trying to think of how I can get around this, and naturally my deck decides not to give me anything that's really thinkable on that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But the Necro could have produced nothing on those, infinite draws. It was possible that I wasn't out of the game entirely. Here we go. What's this card?
I actually thought I would draw a lot more backup for what I was doing, but all I drew was enough to win.
But all I drew was enough to not even disrupt you. So here's that win again for everyone watching at home. This is how game 1 went as well. On the same turn even, I think.
Yeah. 3rd land drop. It's a slightly more convoluted and therefore, in my opinion, much more fun path to this victory.
That puts it on top, so there's not the win yet. We got to wait a turn.
Oh, wait.
It is this turn because I time walk.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm...
So you time walk, you Necro the one off the
this
top.
This quote turn.
Okay.
And I have nothing to do anything, so it's safe, and there we go. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Doomsday, why are you so annoyingly good?
Got him.
This time we'll name Aardvark.
Reset the life total to the... What was the...
420. Nice.
I think we learned that this initiative deck, it just doesn't seem very good.
I think the big things about this deck are that it's doing a lot, and I think that with a lot more like familiarity with it, I might be able to improve some. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to mulligan to 6 cards if it doesn't have Force of Will in its opening hand.
It sure does surprise people the very first like week that they played against it. You know, it surprised them, and I can see why blue-white, Tinker Initiative would have gotten a lot of people who are used to specific lines and patterns in a meta.
And the deck can randomly do the turn 1 win. I mean, it does have that combo.
Right. But
Thanks, Tinker.
Overwhelmingly, meh.
I don't mind the idea of blue in white-based initiative. I think getting blue cards is probably worth not getting basics like crazy and being a little bit more vulnerable to Wasteland. When you get, it's so easy to just splash into Ancestral and Time Walk and shit like that. Yeah. And Lavinia, you don't necessarily even need to fuck with the counters. There's just really good blue shit having access to maybe like Hull Breachers or something.
Also, though, the white initiative decks have gained Emerius Calls and Chrome Moxes, and I can't remember the name of the reveal it in your opening hand. It makes your opponent's first spell cost 1 more. Chancellor
that thing.
Annex, I think.
Yeah.
Chancellor of the Annex is fucking great in the Chrome Mox build.
Between the Emerius Calls and the Chancellor of the Annex, you get to pitch those to your Chrome Moxes, and you get to pitch those to your Solitudes, and sometimes you even just cast Chancellor because that deck generates a lot of mana.
Yeah, it does generate. I don't know. And that does sound pretty cool.
It's a really good build. I almost got my ass kicked by it over the weekend. I had to roll 8 straight on Mana Crypt and not take any damage for 8 turns.
Amazing.
And I did. But it was not a deserved win in that sense.
That is the most deserved win.
Yeah, how can you say that's not deserved?
That is dice. God telling your opponent that they should just pack up and fuck off.
You rolled the dice.
Yeah, you played better and you drew better, but what do you know? I'm just using this this die roll right here to tell you that you lose.
See, doesn't that sound great?
It was wild. It was wild.
See what God just did to us, man.
It's like how in the Magic rules, you're not allowed to decide who wins a game based on a die roll, but there are ways around it.
Like playing Mana Crypt and taking forever.
Yep.
Well, next week we'll be back with something spicy. I haven't figured out exactly what's going to be on the docket, but it'll be a brew and a half, and we'll run it up against the gauntlet again.
Yee.
All right. Tinker Initiative 0-3, by the way.
Yes.
Never again.
21-21.